You know, you wouldn't just walk up to someone brand new and like immediately try to sell them something, would you?
No, absolutely not.
You'd try to connect first, right? Find some common ground maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's pretty much the core of what we're diving into today. It's this powerful way to build something real, maybe a business, maybe just a strong audience connection.
Precisely. Think of it like making friends before you offer to sell them your toys.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing a deep dive into Joe Polizzi's Content Inc.,
Right.
pulling out those key ideas for building an audience that actually genuinely loves what you create.
So your mission for this deep dive is simple. Get a real handle on the 7 key secrets to make people connect with what you're putting out there. We've gone through the core concepts, looked at, how it works in the real world.
Yeah, the practical side.
Exactly. And we're bringing you the essentials, basically a shortcut to understanding this whole approach. We want you to walk away knowing what it really takes.
And it's not just theory, right? We'll be looking at specific companies, ones that have really nailed these ideas, and also maybe where some others have, well, stumbled a bit.
Okay, so get ready. Over the next little while, we're digging into these 7 crucial secrets.
Let's list them out.
First, dream big.
Okay.
That's all about starting with the end in mind.
Okay.
Second, your awesome mix, finding your sweet spot.
Got it.
Third, be different, be cool, which is the content tilt.
Yeah.
Fourth, build your clubhouse. So building the base.
Your own space.
Fifth, gather your superfans. That's harvesting audience.
Crucial.
Sixth, spread the fun, which means diversification. And finally, seventh, make it awesome for everyone, or monetization.
Bringing it all together. By the time we're done, you should have a way clearer picture of how to build that loyalty, become a real, well, let's call it a content champ.
All right, let's kick things off then with secret number 1. Dream big. Starting with the end in mind. This feels fundamental, like knowing where you're going before you start the journey.
Exactly. Like setting the GPS before you pull out of the driveway.
Right.
If you don't have that destination clear in your mind, you're just driving aimlessly, hoping you land somewhere good. And in this context, that aimless driving, it means scattered effort, resources wasted, not getting closer to any real goal.
So, okay, what are the real tangible upsides then? For you listening, why take the time to really nail down those goals first?
Well, the biggest one is just clarity. Clear direction. You're not just making stuff randomly. Every piece has a purpose working towards that objective.
Okay.
Second, it gives you something to measure against. How do you know if you're making progress if you haven't defined what progress looks like, right?
Sure.
And third, it just helps you make better decisions, smarter decisions. When opportunities pop up, you can ask, does this actually help me get where I want to go?
That makes total sense. So conversely, for you thinking about skipping this,
Right.
what are the pitfalls? What happens if you don't have clear goals?
Well, your efforts get really fragmented, like you said, scattered, trying to do too many things at once, basically.
Yeah.
And that scattering of time, energy, money, it rarely leads to big results anywhere. It also gets incredibly hard to tell if you're actually getting anywhere, gaining traction.
Right, no benchmark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe the biggest thing for you listening, you might just miss out on great opportunities.
Yeah.
Because you don't recognize them as fitting into a plan you never made.
Okay, let's make this real. Can we look at some U.S. companies that really get this, that use goals to drive their content?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about HubSpot. They're very public about their growth goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their whole content machine educating businesses on inbound marketing. It's laser focused on attracting their ideal customers.
So their goal is to be the leader in that space.
Exactly. And the content serves that goal directly. It's not random.
Okay, cool.
Patagonia is a great example, too. Their mission is environmental sustainability. That's their core goal. And that value system drives all their content, their messaging. It's not just about selling jackets. It's about building a community of people who share those values. Their content often highlights environmental issues, their own practices.
So the content reinforces the bigger purpose, which attracts the right people?
Precisely. And one more, Khan Academy. Their goal couldn't be clearer. Free, world-class education for anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
And that mission directly drives everything they create. All those videos, exercises, it all serves that core aim. You can see the direct line.
It's really clear how that guiding goal shapes everything. Okay, now, flip side. For you considering your own path, What mistakes might competitors make if they haven't defined their goals?
Well, you might see like a small marketing agency just putting out random blog posts,
Yeah,
covering all sorts of topics, but no clear target audience, no specific objective.
content for content's sake.
Yeah. And the result, usually low engagement, no real leads generated for their actual business.
Okay. Another example.
Or maybe an e-commerce store with really generic product descriptions. They don't really speak to the specific person they want to reach, their desires, their problems.
Right.
That lack of a clear customer goal in their content leads to, well, unfocused marketing and
Mhm.
probably lower sales for them.
They're talking to everyone and no one.
Exactly. And maybe a nonprofit sharing, really touching stories, but without clear calls to action
Mm.
or specific fundraising goals tied to those stories. They're probably missing huge opportunities to actually build support and advance their mission.
So, for you listening, how do you actually use this first secret? What's the practical takeaway?
It's simple, really, but crucial. Just like Joe Pulizzi talks about documenting his own goals,
Yeah.
you got to sit down, write yours down. What do you want to achieve? Financially, impact-wise, personally. Be specific.
And then?
And then look at them regularly. Let that clarity be your guide, your North Star for everything you create.
Okay, secret one, dream big. Got it. Let's move to secret number two, your awesome mix. Finding your sweet spot. This sounds like it's about figuring out what content to create based on, well, you.
That's exactly it. It's finding that intersection, that perfect overlap between what you're genuinely skilled at and what you're truly passionate about.
So for you, trying to zero in on your niche, why is finding this sweet spot so important? What are the real advantages?
Well, first off, motivation. If you're working in your sweet spot, creating content feels less like a chore, You actually enjoy it, so you're more likely to be consistent.
Right, it doesn't feel like pulling teeth.
Exactly. Second, that passion, it shines through. Your content feels more authentic, more engaging, because people can sense your enthusiasm.
Hmm.
And finally, because you're combining skills and passion, you can offer unique insights, a perspective others might not have.
That makes sense. Authenticity is huge. So for you, maybe struggling with content ideas, what happens if you don't find the sweet spot? What are the downsides?
Uh, well, if you're creating content on stuff you don't really care about or aren't that good at, it becomes a grind. Burnout is a real risk. Your output gets inconsistent.
Yeah, I can see that.
Plus, your audience can often tell if your heart's not in it. That lack of enthusiasm means they probably won't connect as deeply.
Hmm.
And honestly, without that genuine investment, it's just really hard for you to stand out. There's so much content out there. How do you differentiate if you're not bringing something genuine?
So you end up creating stuff that feels maybe a bit forced and it just doesn't land.
Pretty much. Okay, let's look at some U.S. companies where you can really see this sweet spot in action.
Yeah, let's see the real world application.
Okay, think the Home Depot. Their content is all about DIY projects, home improvement tips.
All right.
They're leveraging their expertise in home improvement products, obviously, but they're also tapping into the passion homeowners have for doing these projects themselves. It's not just selling tools, it's enabling a hobby.
Good point. They're fueling the passion, not just selling stuff.
Exactly. Or Epic Games with Fortnite. That's a blend of incredible game development skill, right? But also a clear passion for creating super engaging, constantly evolving entertainment, the updates, the seasons, that shows ongoing passion.
Yeah, you feel that energy. It keeps it fresh.
Totally. And then there's the Food Network. The whole channel is basically built on showcasing chefs who are deeply passionate about food, right? They share their skills, yes, but also their excitement. You can almost taste their enthusiasm.
You definitely feel that genuine love for food coming through.
Okay.
Okay, so switching gears again. For you trying to stand out, what about competitors who miss this mark?
You might see a software company doing really generic marketing content, talking about broad tech trends instead of focusing on their specific software and the unique problems it solves.
They're staying too high level, not playing to their specific strength.
Exactly. Or maybe a financial advisor whose content is super dry and technical, no personal perspective, no passion showing for actually helping people with their finances.
Right, it just becomes noise, no human connection.
Precisely. Or think of a craft store chain whose content just lists products. It doesn't inspire creativity or show the joy of crafting. It's just a catalog, really.
It's showcasing items instead of sparking that creative fire in you. So for you listening, trying to find your focus, how do you tap into your own awesome mix?
It really boils down to some honest thinking.
Yeah.
For you, ask yourself, what do I actually know a lot about? What could I talk about for ages? What skills do I have?
Okay.
And then what genuinely excites me?
Mm.
Where's the overlap between what I know and what I love? That intersection, that's your sweet spot. Create content there.
Right.
Think like Matthew Patrick, he combined gaming passion with analytical skills. Brilliant mix.
Great advice for you to mull over. Okay, moving on. Secret number 3. Be different. Be cool. The content tilt. Okay, so for you looking to break through, this builds on the sweet spot, right? Adding a unique twist.
Exactly right. You found your sweet spot, now you need to find your tilt. That specific angle, that unique perspective that makes your content stand out from everyone else talking about similar things. It's like your signature. Makes it instantly recognizable to you.
So for you trying to get noticed, why is this tilt so vital? What's the real benefit of being different?
Well, I mean, look around. The internet is packed.
Yeah.
A content tilt makes your stuff memorable. It grabs attention. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It also lets you potentially capture an audience that feels, ignored or underserved by what's already out there.
Ah, finding a niche within the niche.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it positions you as the unique go-to source for that specific take or approach.
So it helps you cut through the noise and become known for something specific. What happens if you don't find that unique tilt, if you just play it safe?
Well, your content just risks getting drowned out, lost in the sea of sameness that's already available to you. It's much, much harder to build a loyal following if you're not offering something fresh, something different. You just end up looking like a Me Too brand. You blend in. You don't make an impact on you.
Yeah, nobody really remembers average, do they?
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some U.S. companies that have absolutely nailed the content tilt.
Okay, examples are always good.
Blend Tech. Remember their Will It Blend videos?
Yeah, those are amazing.
Right. They took a basic thing showing off blender power and added this totally unexpected, hilarious tilt, blending iPhones, golf balls. It went viral. Super memorable for you.
Who knew watching stuff get destroyed could be such great marketing?
Exactly. Then there's Dollar Shave Club. Shaving products, pretty boring marketing.
Yeah, crowded too.
But their content tilt was brilliant. Funny, relatable videos tackling the hassle and cost of old school razors for you. They tapped into a real frustration.
Their launch video was legendary. Genuinely funny.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And Death Wish Coffee. They didn't just sell coffee. Their tilt was being the strongest coffee.
Mm.
Bold, edgy brand personality. Very clear tilt appealing to a specific type of coffee drinker.
Right, the rebels of the coffee world. They carved out a very specific identity. Okay, so for you trying to find your unique space, what about examples where competitors don't have a clear tilt?
Tons. Think of all the personal finance blogs just offering the same generic advice. Budgeting, saving, no unique angle, no specific audience focus, nothing really fresh for you.
Yeah, it all sounds the same after a while.
Exactly. Or how many beauty tutorials basically show the same looks without a distinct style or focusing on a niche like makeup for mature skin or for a specific ethnicity or just bringing a unique personality that connects with you.
Hard to stand out if you're just copying trends.
Totally. And lastly, think about tech review sites that just list specs.
Mm-hmm.
No real insightful analysis, no strong opinion, nothing that helps you understand the product differently.
It's just a data sheet, not really helpful content. So for you looking for your edge, how do you actually find your content tilt?
Don't just cover the same ground as everyone else. You got to ask yourself, how can I approach this differently? What unique perspective or method or even just personality can I bring that nobody else is offering you?
So look inward.
Yeah. What makes you or your approach distinct? What's that surprising twist you can add? Like Anne Reardon making those crazy, impossible-looking desserts. That's her tilt. Find yours.
Okay, secret number 3. Be different, be cool. Makes sense. Let's dive into secret 4. Build your clubhouse. Building the base. So for you wanting something sustainable, this sounds like setting up your own shop online.
That's exactly it. Right. It's about creating your own central place online, your clubhouse, where you control the content, the connection with your audience. Think of it like owning your digital real estate for you, not renting.
Owning, not renting. I like that. So for you thinking long term, what are the big benefits of building this clubhouse?
Well, first and foremost, control. Direct control over your content, how you interact. You're not at the mercy of some social media algorithm changing overnight.
Right. That's huge.
Second, you're building an asset, something you own. Your website, your email list that's valuable, and it's yours.
Mm.
And third, it's just a central hub, A home base for all your stuff where your audience knows they can find you and engage directly.
Okay, so it's your home turf where you make the rules and own the relationship. What's the risk for you if you don't prioritize this owned platform?
Well, if you don't build your own place, you're basically just renting space on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. You become dependent on their algorithms, which, as we know, can change drastically and just tank your reach to you.
Yeah, you hear horror stories.
Plus, you don't own the audience data. Makes direct communication harder. And maybe the biggest risk for you, your whole online presence could vanish or be severely crippled if a platform changes its rules or, disappears altogether.
You're building on shaky ground if it's all rented, not smart long-term for you.
Exactly. So let's look at some U.S. examples of companies that have really focused on building a strong clubhouse.
Yeah, who's doing it well?
Think about the Mayo Clinic. Their website is just this incredible, comprehensive resource for health information. That's their primary platform for building trust and authority for you.
Yeah, it's like the gold standard for reliable health info online. Definitely their main hub.
Totally. Then, the New York Times. Their website and their app, that's their core. That's where they deliver their journalism, and it's central to their subscription model for you.
Absolutely essential to their entire business and identity.
Right. And even NPR National Public Radio. Their website and app are the main places for you to get all their audio content, news, everything on demand. It's their digital home base.
So even traditional media gets the importance of their own digital platform. Now, for you looking at your strategy, what about those who haven't prioritized this? What does that look like?
You might see a business relying almost entirely on, say, Instagram. Great visuals, maybe, but no real website for deeper info or capturing emails or building that sense of professional credibility for you.
They're limiting themselves, really, and their control.
Definitely. Or maybe a blogger who only posts on Medium. They're not building their own dedicated blog where they control the look, the feel, the monetization for you.
Building their brand entirely on someone else's land again.
Yep. And maybe a podcaster who just pushes their show out to apps, but has no website for show notes, transcripts, or ways for listeners to engage directly. They're missing that chance to build community and an owned asset with you.
So for you starting out or maybe rethinking things, how do you actually start building your clubhouse?
First step for you is pick your main platform. Blog, podcast website, YouTube channel, whatever makes sense. The key is you own and control it.
Okay.
Then use social media strategically, not as your home, but as pathways to drive people to your clubhouse.
Right, like signposts.
Exactly. And then the most important part, be consistent. Yeah. Keep putting valuable content onto your own platform. That's how you build that strong foundation for you.
Okay, secret number 4, build your clubhouse. Makes sense. Let's move to secret number 5. Gather your superfans. Harvesting audience. So for you wanting that loyal following, this is about turning casual browsers into like real subscribers.
Exactly. It's taking those people who stumble across your stuff and converting them into engaged subscribers, your super fans who actually want to hear from you directly.
So for you thinking about building a real community, what are the big wins from focusing on subscribers?
Well, the most obvious benefit for you is a direct line. You can communicate with your most interested people without relying on algorithms. That's huge.
Definitely.
Second, subscribers are way more likely to become customers or donors or just strong supporters down the line. They're already invested. And third, they give you incredible feedback. Their engagement tells you what they need, what they like, helping you create better stuff for them in the future.
So it's a direct, valuable relationship with your core people. What's the downside for you if you don't focus on building that subscriber list?
Well, if you don't prioritize subscribers, you're always chasing unpredictable website traffic or volatile social media reach. It's exhausting.
Yeah, the hamster wheel.
Exactly.
Right.
You miss out on really nurturing those relationships with people who've already raised their hand, shown interest. And then when you do have something new to offer, a product, a service, you're basically starting from cold every time instead of talking to a warm, receptive audience already waiting to hear from you.
You're leaving potential relationships and revenue on the table.
Precisely. Okay, let's look at some U.S. companies that are really good at this harvesting, building those subscriber bases.
Yeah, who should you look at?
Okay, Neil Patel is a classic example. Go to his website, neilpatel.com. You'll see pop-ups, embedded forms, lots of clear calls to action urging you to subscribe for his marketing insights. He makes the value prop very clear for you.
Right, he tells you exactly what you'll get.
Exactly. Then there's Morning Brew, that daily business newsletter. They build a massive list by just consistently delivering value, engaging, informative news right to your inbox. The format works.
Their consistency and voice really built that loyalty.
Totally. And Marie Forleo with Murray TV. Lots of great free video content, right?
Hmm.
But she consistently encourages viewers to sign up for her email list for bonus stuff, extra insights. She gives you a reason to subscribe.
Providing extra value for becoming a subscriber.
Yeah.
Smart. Now, for you thinking about your own list growth, what are common mistakes people make here?
Oh, you see websites with great content, but like no obvious way to subscribe. It's crazy. They create good stuff, but don't make it easy for you to get more. Big missed opportunity.
The content is there, but no clear invitation to join the club.
Exactly. Or think of a social media influencer with a huge following, but no email list. They can only reach their audience through the platform's algorithm. No direct line to you.
They don't actually own that audience relationship.
Right. And finally, businesses that just focus on getting likes and shares. Vanity metrics, really.
Yeah.
They're not capturing contact info, so they can't build that deeper, long-term connection with you. Likes are fleeting.
So, for you wanting to build your tribe, how do you actually start gathering these super fans effectively?
Make subscribing super easy. Obvious. Especially email. Offer something valuable in return, a checklist, a guide, an ebook, a template, some kind of freebie, a lead magnet that gives immediate value to you.
Okay, give them good reason.
Yeah. And then, critically, keep delivering. Create content that keeps them engaged. Looking forward to hearing from you. Consistency and value are key.
Great practical tips for you. Okay, we're rolling. Secret number 6, spread the fun. Diversification. So for you looking to grow your impact, this sounds like taking what works and like spreading it around.
That's a good way to put it. Once you've got your core content clicking and you've got that engaged audience, diversification is about strategically repurposing that content into different formats. Yeah. And reaching new people on different platforms where they might hang out. It's about maximizing the value and reach of the work you've already done for you.
Okay, so for you aiming for bigger reach, what are the main benefits of diversifying?
Well, the biggest is reaching more people. Simple as that. People consume content differently. Some read, some watch, some listen. Diversifying lets you meet them where they are.
Right, different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. It also strengthens your overall brand presence. Being visible in more places just makes you seem more established, more authoritative to you. And you can open up totally new revenue streams or opportunities you hadn't even thought of.
So you're not putting all your eggs in one content basket. What are the risks for you if you don't diversify, if you just stick to one thing?
Well, you're definitely missing potential audience members who just don't hang out on your main platform or prefer different formats. You're limiting your potential pool.
Right, leaving people out.
Your content could also start to feel a bit stale, even for your core audience, if you're not exploring different ways to present it to you. And fundamentally, you're capping your own growth potential, both in terms of audience size and potential income.
You're basically creating an artificial ceiling for yourself.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's look at some U.S. folks who are masters of diversification.
Absolutely. Gary Vaynerchuk is kind of the poster child for this, right?
Oh, yeah, he's everywhere.
He creates so much content, video, audio, written, social snippets, and he's brilliant at repurposing his core message for each specific platform for you.
He really understands how to tailor it.
Totally. TED Talks is another great example. Started as one conference, right? Now it's online videos, books, podcasts, local TEDx events. Huge diversification, massive global impact on you.
They really scaled that initial concept incredibly well.
Definitely. And I mean, Disney. They are masters of leveraging their core stories, movies, TV, streaming, parks, merch, books. It's diversification on an epic scale for you.
They get maximum mileage out of every character and story. Now, for you thinking about your own plans, what about examples of people not diversifying effectively?
You might see a blogger who only writes articles. They haven't tried turning popular posts into short videos or maybe an audio version to reach people who prefer those formats.
Missing opportunities to connect differently.
Exactly. Or a podcast that's only on, like, Apple Podcasts. They're not making it easy for Android users or people on Spotify to find them, limiting discoverability for you.
Making it harder for new listeners to jump in.
Right. And maybe a business that writes great in-depth blog posts, but never thinks to turn the key points into an infographic, or compile several posts into an ebook, or create short video summaries for you.
They're not squeezing all the value out of the content they already created. So for you wanting to broaden your reach, how do you start to spread the fun and diversify?
Once you have some core content that you know works, that resonates, start thinking, how else can I present this Turn blog posts into videos or podcast segments. Transcribe audio into articles. Bundle articles into guides or ebooks.
Repurpose, repurpose, repurpose back.
Exactly. And explore other channels where your audience might be. Adapt your content for LinkedIn or Instagram Reels or TikTok or wherever it makes sense. Experiment. See what sticks with different parts of your audience.
Okay, secret number 6. Spread the fun. Great advice for you. And now, the final piece. Secret number 7. Make it awesome for everyone. Monetization. Okay, for you, building something that lasts, this is where the money comes in, right?
That's right. Monetization, finding ways to get paid for the value you create and the audience you've built. But, and this is really important for you to hear, the key is the timing. Ideally, this comes after you've built trust and consistently delivered value.
Right, value first. So for you aiming for the long haul, why wait? What are the benefits of monetizing after you've built that audience relationship?
Well, when you have that warm, engaged audience that already knows, likes, and trusts you, they're just much more likely to be interested when you do offer something for sale. The trust is already there.
Makes sense. Less friction.
Exactly. You also understand them better by that point, their needs, their pains. So you can create products or services that actually solve their problems, making them more likely to buy.
Tailored solutions.
Right. And just from a business stability point of view, having different ways to make money, multiple revenue streams, makes your whole operation much more resilient for you long term.
Okay, so you're selling to people who already trust you, offering things they actually need. What are the risks for you if you jump the gun? Try to monetize too early.
Big risk is alienating people. If you push sales before providing real value, people might feel like you're just trying to make a buck off them. That erodes trust fast.
Comes across as greedy or inauthentic.
Yeah. Your offers might also just flop if you haven't taken the time to figure out what your audience actually needs and is willing to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
You're guessing, basically. And it's just really hard to build that genuine connection, that loyalty, if your main focus right out of the gate seems to be selling stuff.
It can feel transactional, not relational.
Hmm.
Okay, let's look at some U.S. companies that did this right, monetized after building the audience.
Okay. Content Marketing Institute, CMI. They spent years building a huge audience of marketers with amazing blog content, research, events, tons of free value.
Right, they became the authority.
Exactly. Then they started selling premium events, training, consulting to that audience that already trusted their expertise. Build authority first.
Smart. Who else?
The Skim the Email newsletter. They focus purely on building a massive free subscriber base first, delivering value every day. Then they introduced a paid version with extra features. Value first, then upsell.
Built the habit and loyalty with the free version first.
Right. And Mind Valley. They spent years giving away tons of free content on personal growth, building a huge community around that interest. Now they have a thriving business selling courses and programs to that exact audience. Nurture first, sell later.
Built the community before asking for the sale. Okay, so for you thinking about making money, what are those common mistakes of trying too early?
You see it all the time.
Yeah.
A brand new blog just plastered with ads before they even have readers. It's a terrible first impression for you. Drives people away.
Yeah, makes the site unusable sometimes.
Or a new podcaster, maybe aggressively pushing like totally unrelated affiliate products in their first few episodes before listeners even know or trust them. Feels really jarring.
Comes off as desperate or just out of place.
Exactly. And businesses on social media that only post sales pitches. Buy my thing, without ever offering any useful or interesting content first. It just doesn't work long term.
Just shouting into the void, basically.
That-
So for you looking to monetize the right way, how do you approach this final secret?
The smart play for you is think about monetization from the start. Sure, have ideas, but make your priority, your primary focus, building that audience and delivering amazing value consistently.
Audience first.
Audience first. Then, once you have that engaged base, start experimenting thoughtfully. Maybe sponsorships, premium content, digital products, services. See what fits.
Okay.
And crucially, listen to your audience. Pay attention to what they ask for, what they struggle with. That will tell you what they might actually pay for. Understand their needs deeply.
Okay, secret number 7. Make it awesome for everyone. Really important perspective for you.
So yeah, there we have it. That's our deep dive into the 7 secrets from Content Inc. From having that big vision and finding your passion,
Right.
to building your own platform, growing your subscribers, diversifying your content, and then finally, figuring out the money side thoughtfully.
It really is a solid roadmap for you to consider. The big takeaway feels like, well, If you're genuinely curious, committed to serving your audience with great stuff, and you follow these steps patiently, you build something real, something with long-term success.
Absolutely. And it's not overnight, let's be clear. This takes time, effort, dedication. It's not a quick hack.
Definitely not.
But by really putting your audience first, building that trust, that engagement, you really do set yourself up for some amazing, sometimes unexpected opportunities later on.
That's where the sustainable magic happens for you, isn't it? So, as you think about everything we've discussed in this deep dive, maybe ask yourself, which of these 7 secrets really hit home for you right now? Where could you focus your energy next?
Yeah, what's your next step?
And maybe the biggest question, how can you consistently, truly put your audience first in every single thing you do? That's something for you to think about as you continue on your own journey. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. You wouldn't just walk up to someone brand new and immediately try to sell them something, would you?
No, absolutely not.
You'd try to connect first, right? Find some common ground maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's pretty much the core of what we're diving into today. It's this powerful way to build something real, maybe a business, maybe just a strong audience connection.
Precisely. Think of it like making friends before you offer to sell them your toys.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing a deep dive into Joe Polizzi's Content Inc.,
Right.
pulling out those key ideas for building an audience that actually genuinely loves what you create.
So your mission for this deep dive is simple. Get a real handle on the 7 key secrets to make people connect with what you're putting out there. We've gone through the core concepts, looked at, how it works in the real world.
Yeah, the practical side.
Exactly. And we're bringing you the essentials, basically a shortcut to understanding this whole approach. We want you to walk away knowing what it really takes.
And it's not just theory, right? We'll be looking at specific companies, ones that have really nailed these ideas, and also maybe where some others have, well, stumbled a bit.
Okay, so get ready. Over the next little while, we're digging into these 7 crucial secrets.
Let's list them out.
First, dream big.
Okay.
That's all about starting with the end in mind.
Okay.
Second, your awesome mix, finding your sweet spot.
Got it.
Third, be different, be cool, which is the content tilt.
Yeah.
Fourth, build your clubhouse. So building the base.
Your own space.
Fifth, gather your superfans. That's harvesting audience.
Crucial.
Sixth, spread the fun, which means diversification. And finally, 7th, make it awesome for everyone, or monetization.
Bringing it all together. By the time we're done, you should have a way clearer picture of how to build that loyalty, become a real, well, let's call it a content champ.
All right, let's kick things off then with secret number 1. Dream big. Starting with the end in mind. This feels fundamental, like knowing where